Deoxys is an anomaly of a Pokemon and is going to be really difficult to judge. We're rating them all, and in battle, its 4 forms are drastically different. Now, I'll admit, I've never once used any of them, so we're guessing here, and to start, its base form is for sure a glass cannon, with 150 in both attacks and speed, so it will probably one-shot most things you send it in against, but due to shaking in its space boots over a sucker punch, and all of those exact same things can be said for its attack form, but turned up a notch, and it's stronger but laughably squishy defensively. Then you turn to its defense form, which has a similar stat spread to Registeel. It's insanely bulky, but it's pretty average on offense, though finally its speed form, at least how I see it, looks like it is by far the best of them. It obviously has insane speed, but it otherwise is really solid across the board and can do just about anything. If I had to rank them individually, I would probably give them 4.5, 4.5, 4, and then speed would get the 5, so we'll just give Deoxys the average, which is 4.5 stars. Though its availability isn't as bad as most mythicals, thanks entirely to the Delta episode in Oras, though it is still entirely unavailable in its original games, and said Delta episode encounter is at the very end of the post-game, so even that will only give it a max of 1 star availability. And I don't think I need to convince you guys how cool its concept is. It's pretty clearly inspired by aliens or sci-fi space viruses, but it also has much more grounded inspirations, like its namesake deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, which is of course further supported by its splitting and additional forms, just like cellular division. So cool, easily 5 stars. Its design is then once again really difficult to nail down a score due to its multiple forms. I would say that its normal form is by far the best and obviously most balanced, but specifically I think the literal DNA arms may be a bit obvious, but do look really cool and show off its mutative abilities. The attack form's head and legs look awesome and aggressive as they should, but I'm not a fan of the straightened out arms or the weird torso. I think its defense form is actually the second best. Sure, it's a bit clunky or goofy, but that works perfectly for its bulky defensive form. Though conversely, its speed form also makes perfect sense, being super slim and all, but just doesn't look as good in the process. I'm really not a fan of it at all. So I'll try to find the middle ground for Deoxys and give it 4 stars. So that forms Deoxys the final score of 3.625 stars overall, which is apparently just the mythical default score.